and no one is really able to do this on a mass scale. But now think about how much more attention we'll get. The idea is to show up more. You want to become like Alcatraz. Anyone that comes to the website buys it. And this is a new thing that I haven't seen anywhere else, and it's absolutely bonkers. Okay, just think about the compound effect of your SEO. It's unbelievable. Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Hope you guys are having a good day. I'm Jason from CelerateDigital.com, and I'm going to show you some interesting things, some interesting strategies for you guys to implement into your business today. And let's just go over the background of why you should show up more and how you should show up more and communicate more. So the why. By showing up more, you will reach more customers. It's that simple. There's not much to it. Okay. Obviously, by showing up more to more people, you'll have more brand awareness, and that can translate into more sales. So that's not rocket science. You all know that one. And how? Well, I'm going to show you some interesting strategies, so stick around. All right. So to understand what we should do, we need to understand what we shouldn't do. So if you sell on Amazon, and you don't need to be an Amazon seller to watch this video, this stuff is going to apply to anyone, whether you're in e-commerce or you're a local service. But if you are an Amazon seller, you understand that it's like literally operating like your hands are tied behind your back. If you sell on Amazon, you know that you can't remarket to your customers. You know that at any second, Amazon can shut your brand down. You know that it's not a safe platform to completely rely and depend your business on, because at the whim of a button from some guy overseas, your entire business can literally disappear. Products get suppressed. They require random like compliance documents. They miscategorize products. I've had products that were miscategorized, and I'll give you an example. I was selling a sugar product and they miscategorized it as a supplement. It was like a healthy natural sweetener, and then they miscategorize it and label it as a supplement. And now I have to fight with them, and it takes weeks in order for them to undo what they did, because they required documents I didn't have because I wasn't in that category. So that's just an example of how Amazon can just completely destroy your business overnight. And then it can sometimes take hours, days, weeks, or months to fight with them in order to undo the stupid mistakes that they make on their end, and you have no control. That's the bottom line. On Amazon, you have no control. You have no control over how they bully your brand, how they compete against you, and you also have to deal with all the garbage that they put you through. They take a lot of fees, right? They eat up all your profits. They send product back to customers just to make them happy, but really they're totally stealing from you because you never approved for them to send a customer another product. There's so many examples of why Amazon is not the place to do business. However, we know that all the customers are on Amazon, right? Well, not all of them, but a big chunk of them, and that makes it worth it. However, if you're only selling on Amazon, you're shooting yourself in the foot. You need to be expanding into other resources, into other assets that are going to give you control back into your brand. Okay. So I'm not saying leave Amazon, but you need to build, other platforms around that are going to give you control and give you the ability to market to your customers and communicate to your customers and build relationships to your customers like you can't do on Amazon, because Amazon limits you. Okay, so this is a bad example. Amazon is a bad example of how brands can't communicate and build relationships with their customers. Okay, so the alternative is building websites that you own. However, if you build one website, that's not necessarily going to give you the huge advantage like you should have. Okay, and so in order to really take full control of your brand, you need to monopolize the digital real estate. And what does that mean? It means that when you show up on Google, either you're going to show up once or maybe twice, or you can show up many times, tens of times, maybe even hundreds of times, depends on how big you want to go. So here is an example. Okay, let's just say that you guys are a bedding brand. Okay, let's take a bedding brand. Sell sheets, pillows, blankets, mattresses, all that kind of stuff. So traditionally, that brand will just make one website, right? It would have lots of pages for the products, but that one site is all that there would be on Google. However, the new strategy that I've seen is really, really making a big difference is by creating super, super niche websites, but almost mass producing them. So, for example, if you're a bedding brand, the first niche website that you would make is, let's just say you'd focus on bed bug repellent sheets. Okay. Now, and you can change this to whatever makes sense within the bedding industry, but I'm not in that thing, so I don't really know. But what I do know is that even if you sell lots of products, just specify one of them and really focus on that one product. And so you basically become like a one product store. And so it wouldn't necessarily be a landing page, but it would just be a more simple site that really hones in on the messaging for this keyword, for example, bed bug repellent sheets. Okay. Another one could be neck support pillows or pillows that fight back pain, right? So you're taking a keyword and you're creating a website based on the messaging that would really cater to that keyword. Okay. And obviously, again, you play with this and see what works for you in your industry. But if you're a bedding brand, these are some ideas and topics that come to mind. Another really niche website that could be very effective is bedding for truckers. Okay. Do truckers get enough love? They're on the road all day and all night. And when they sleep, they also want a good, comfortable, experience for the night. And so this is just an idea, but you can create a bedding brand just for truckers, And think about how all the truckers that we have in just the United States alone, think about how many of them would come to this website, at least to take a look to see what you have to offer. And by getting really specific with the niche, you're going to get a lot of traction for these keywords because it's just so hyper relevant, and Google's going to want to show your site to these kinds of things. So the next one could be bedding for college students. So you can have a website literally just for college students and bedding. And think about that. There's how many college students in the world? I mean, think about it. And if you can just tap into a small percentage of that and build a website just for college student bedding, I mean, that's a massive thing. Where are college students getting their bedding now, right? Why does someone pick one website, one brand over the other, right? It's because it's relevant to them. They think they can get a good deal, or they think they can, get quality and stuff. And so if you can show that you can give all that stuff, good quality and good customer service and fast shipping, and it's super geared towards college students, that's a winning niche website. Okay. And then you can repeat that for camping and for campers and RVs. And you can basically, the idea is not so much the keyword that you'll have to figure out yourself depending on your brand. But what I'm trying to explain here is create many websites, and they don't need to be super complex and super expensive. They just need to be, you just need to have a lot of them. Okay. Because you want to increase your chances of coming up on Google. Okay. So that's what I would do. Okay. So I listed only 6 over here, but you can start with 3, you can start with 5, you can even go up to 10, 20. You can be so creative with this, and you can just literally mass produce websites. Okay. And if you sell lots of products, then that's even better, because then you have even more leverage to like super focus in on certain products. Okay. If you're selling less products, so we have like 3 or 4 products, then it might be more difficult, because how many times can you bend the same product? But you can still do that if you have the creativity and you have the time to figure that out. Okay, so this is one strategy here, is to create lots of niche websites. Now, on the other side of that, you want to be able to create a lot of traffic generating websites. Traffic generating websites would basically be like blog websites, news websites, forum websites, things like that people are going to for questions more than they are for products and solutions. And in a way, they are going for solutions, but they're just not. They're more in the information gathering phase and not in I'm ready to buy phase. So you'll be converting a massive chunk of the market by creating a traffic generating site that is geared towards your niche. So instead of selling the bedding products on this type of site, you would be reviewing lots of bedding products, and um, you want to seem non-biased. Like you want to actually build an asset where now you're getting lots of traffic. So if you're only promoting your own products, this might not work really well. You actually want to do something counterintuitively and promote lots of different brands and different products. And maybe you can do this in a way where you're not promoting direct competition. Like you don't want to, like if you're selling pillows, you might not want to promote other pillow websites, but maybe you'd have lots of blogs, like those blogs that have all the reviews and the affiliate links, where it has it has pillows, and then underneath it could have sheets, and below that it could have like a bed cooler or a bed cooling gel pad, or it could have maybe some interesting LED lights that go around the bed frame, things like that. Basically, you want to build blog sites, okay? And I'm going to explain how you can do this later. But the idea is to have niche sites on the one hand, and on the other hand, you want to have traffic generating sites like blogging, and maybe even go even more specific. Instead of bedding reviews, you could do trucking bedding review blog. And you basically want to build these assets out so that you can start generating organic traffic. And once you start getting traffic to these sites, it's so easy to convert them to products because they're yours. You own these customers. You own the traffic. It's in your control. Now you're building like a bunch of little Amazons on a small scale, but it adds up, you know? And so even if you're only getting a few thousand customers or a few thousand visitors every single month to one of your blog sites, that's a lot, and that can add up, especially if you keep making more of these things, making more of these assets. You can start seeing tens of thousands of people visiting your site, and even if a small percent converts into the niche sites, if you generate this and replicate this, you can start seeing some really big gains in your business. Okay, so generate traffic to both niche sites and traffic generating sites. So traditionally, you would do Google ads and you would do Facebook ads. Both of those are paid, and there's no redistribution strategy. There's no forever traffic. Forever traffic is when you build something once and then it just continually brings you traffic. An example of that is a YouTube video. You could have posted that YouTube video 10 years ago, but people still view that video, and that video can still direct people to a certain landing page or a certain product or something else, and it just keeps generating traffic, views, and potentially sales because it's a YouTube video. People keep viewing stuff like that. So a blog is the same thing in a sense, because you can create a blog once, but that blog can keep generating traffic, right? And it never goes away. Whereas ads, if you turn off the ads, then they stop working. And then there's no more campaign. There's no more sponsored placement. So it goes away the second you stop paying for it. Anything organic is going to be there for you long term, and that's what you have to remember. So making YouTube videos, making good content, and making blogs is going to be your best friend, and those blogs are going to go on this traffic generating site, and it can also go on the niche sites. But by building something out that seems non-biased and seems like it doesn't really belong to you, like it's not owned by you, but it's a neutral third party that ends up leading to your site, that's what you want to do. Okay, so the unlimited blog strategy is very interesting, because what happens is that once you set up this unlimited blog strategy, then what you're able to do is you're able to pump out lots of blogs a day. How many? Well, let's look at it. You can do 60 blogs per hour. That's one per minute, right? And if you times that by 24 hours a day, you're looking at over 1,400 blogs in a single day. Okay, and times that by 30, you're at 43,200. And over the course of a year, you can literally have over 500,000 blogs on your website. Relevant, high quality blogs. Think about how powerful that is. Okay, and what's cool is that not only will this bring you forever traffic, unlike paid ads, but you can start reposting this to X, to Facebook, to Substack, forums, to Medium, LinkedIn, guest blogging. You can repost these blogs on your emails. You can repost it on your WhatsApp community, which we'll talk about soon. And you can even build out news sites or traffic generating sites. that may be even less relevant, but bring you lots of traffic. So by doing this unlimited blog strategy, right, and then sticking it onto your traffic generating sites, you're going to see a ton of traffic. And just to give you an idea, I have a client that one blog that went slightly viral is now, well, more than slightly, but is literally accounting for at least 20 to 30% of their overall traffic. One blog, just one. Think about that. The power of this. Now, if you're pumping out 500,000 blogs a year, high quality, good blogs, what are the chances that at least a few of them are going to go super viral and give you lots of traffic organically? The odds are extremely high because you're pumping out so many and they're all relevant, and no one is really able to do this on a mass scale. But now it is possible, and I'm going to show you how we can do that. So now scroll down here and you'll see that basically the sponsored Google shoppings, you'll see that there's placements for all these different brands, right? We have Sleep Eye, Santee, the company, Brooklinen, Quince, West Elm, Sattva, 8 Sleep, right? All these guys are advertising, and now they're basically earning that placement on Google search. Okay. The thing is that we can do this organically. We can do this organically. Now, you can do this also via sponsorship, however, by paying for their ads. However, we can do this organically. We can do this by showing up on Google because we have more placement opportunity, because we're building up more sites. So like I said before, if you're only one website, you're only going to have that one opportunity to show up. And that's if you do your SEO really well. However, what if we duplicated that and now we have many websites, tens of websites, maybe even 20, 30, 40, 50 websites that are showing up on Google? Think about how much more attention we'll get. And the thing is that the idea is that we don't look like we're from the same company. The idea is that it looks like there are just a bunch of different companies. Imagine all of these people were owned by the same founder, the same owners, right? But they take their products, they slightly change the branding, they slightly change the messaging, and now they show up for all these slots. So that's the idea. The idea is to show up more, and we can do this with paid ads, but we can also do this organically. And organic versus paid, organic wins. Organic is a lot more effective. It's a lot more effective for long term, and it's a lot cheaper. So once you create more opportunities, right, by implementing the strategy of creating lots of new brand websites, you want to become like Alcatraz. Okay, you want to be able to create an amazing user experience that's so frictionless that anyone that comes to the website buys them. Okay, and so some key points to keep in mind. One of them is highly relevant messaging on each website. Okay, so everything needs to be super, super niche, super easy to understand, and extremely relevant. So if you're doing bed bug repellent sheets or trucking sheets or sheets for camping, and you're building a website based on that, then you want to make sure your messaging is super on point. Okay, so if it was a trucking website, for example, the first thing people are going to see is the best bedding for truckers, and below that you would have a button, build your bundle, and then below that you would have some UGC. You would have people reviewing your products, and it would look like there's lots of social proof. Super important that the messaging is extremely relevant, okay, because this is also going to help you with the SEO. And so make sure that the design is super clean and simple. It should not be a big, confusing, large website. It needs to be very simple, extremely modern, and minimalist, and the right buttons are in the right places, and it just has everything that the customer needs and nothing more. Okay, once you start making things confusing and you start making the navigation all fakaked, you're going to lose the customers. Okay, so the idea is to be super niched, super relevant, and reduce any friction possible. Okay, now one strategy I would really recommend for something like this is to start to have basically to offer products at a super low ticket. So if you're selling things like bedding that's $400, $500, you're selling pillow bundles for $300 a pop, you're not going to really get a lot out of that. Start really low. So either bring your prices down or build your bundles up so the value makes sense. And so there's a lot of ways to do this, but if I were you, I would maybe even bring in a new product or just put one product at the forefront that's super cheap, but really valuable. Okay. So maybe that's like just like, let's just say that's one good neck pillow and a sheet for it. And like, I don't know, maybe, maybe like a scent spray to like, keep bed clean and fresh. I don't know. I don't know what kind of products would be good for this. All I know is that the value needs to be there, and you can maybe bundle something to kind of, if you want to increase you might not want to sell something for $20. I understand, but you might not want to sell something for $400 either. So that sweet spot might be somewhere in the $30 range, in the $50 range, maybe even like the $80 range. That still could be considered low ticket, as long as there's lots of value inside the bundle. Okay, but the idea is that once we have the product at the forefront, a very low ticket product, just to get people really excited, then we can start upselling throughout the journey. Okay, and so we can create pages that bring people basically new bundles, and it shows them interesting ideas that they can use that they didn't think of before. And so if you were just doing that, okay, so if you were just doing that spray and the pillow and the sheet, then maybe at the next screen we can just add one more pillow for like a super reduced price, right? And so now they're getting both pillows and the sheet and the spray for an even better deal than they thought they were just getting the single pillow for. And then we can maybe add some other things. Now, I don't really think through what products would be good for this, so forgive me for not coming prepared, but the idea is to just upsell them later. Okay, start small, start low, get them in the door, get them to just say yes to that one thing that's cheap, and then you can start upselling. Okay, and so if you do this strategically, then you'll see a lot of success from that. Now, another thing is that you can do a free gift. Okay, and so that free gift is really important because you want to get their information up front. You don't want to have to work for it. You don't want to have to get them to sell. You don't want them to leave and have to get them to come back through more marketing and other ideas. You want to just when that customer comes to your site, you just want to get their information. So offer something so incredibly valuable that they'll want to give you their phone number and their email. Okay, so if you can get their email and their phone number from them, you can do a lot with that. You can do a lot of stuff with that. And that's going to be very, 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 very fruitful and successful. So the first thing is to build the niche sites, then build the blog content, right? Create amazing user experiences, low ticket products, then you can start upselling, okay? Have lots of social proof, like we talked about, lots of UGC to show that people like your product. That's extremely important. You cannot skip that step. And then offer something for free, a good free gift, something that they can just take home, whether they buy something or not. Okay, you have to somehow implement this in your website where the customer who comes to your site leaves with something regardless, so that you can have their information. Because even if it costs you money to sell them something for free, you're still going to make that back 10x or more, because once you have their information, you can start remarketing to them in a very, very easy way. Okay, so now there's a few things that can happen. Once the contact accepts your free gift and they opt in, okay, now you have a few options. Now you can do email marketing, right? That's the traditional way of using, the opt-ins. You can basically, send them a sequence and nurture them over time. That's good. I agree with that method. You should be doing that, okay? But the other idea is to do something called an automated WhatsApp community, okay? And this is a new thing that I haven't seen anywhere else, and I actually started doing this. It's pretty crazy. Okay, but actually, before I say that, the other thing that you can do is have your sales team call and understand the prospects, and then you can kind of sell later. So what I mean by that is once you get the information in, you can create automations where your sales team can get notified. And because basically what happens is that there is certain automation triggers that allow you to get notified when a customer enters a page view. Okay, so what that means is that, let's just say customer comes to your site, right? They see the free gift opportunity, they enter in their information, and it brings them to like the next page, right? They that's considered a page view because they entered that information in, and then they went to the next screen, and that next screen could have been like an upsell, or it could have been something else. Now that you have their information, you can literally get your sales team to call that lead. And this even works for e-commerce. I know it's crazy, no one really does this, but you can actually do this, and this could be super effective because now your sales team can call that customer, knowing that that customer was interested in things but didn't buy the main primary offer, but took the free gift. And that sales team member can then go in and try to sell them on the rest of the stuff. And you can build this out through automations, because once you have automations in place, this entire process becomes so easy, right? The customer puts in their information, and once they've basically completed that screen, that data gets sent right to your gets sent through an automation, and then goes to your sales team, and that salesperson can then reach out to your customer. Okay, and this can happen within 5 minutes of the free offer opt-in, and the customer is still hot and obviously wanted something from the website, but maybe the price was too high, they're not really sure, or they're still shopping and thinking about it. It's like literally having a salesperson in a store, like asking you, hey, if you need any help, let me know. Or, hey, did you take a look at this side of the store where, I think you might find some really interesting things that you might like. I mean, it's like you can literally have your salesperson call your prospects just after taking your free gift. It's crazy. But anyway, the other thing is to have an automated WhatsApp community. And this is really, really interesting, because what you can do is that once they enter into your site, you can have opt-ins where they can join this free community. And so it's like email marketing, but like on super steroids, because email marketing is very specific, it's very isolated, and we'll talk about this soon, but it's isolated. It means when you get emails, lots of them are junk, and there's no sense of community. You know that you're just getting emails from a company, and it just seems, it doesn't have that personalization, it doesn't have that ooh effect, that exclusivity effect that people actually really like. And so by offering this automated WhatsApp community, you're not going to say that it's automated, but it's going to be a WhatsApp community. It's going to be an exclusive community where people can learn tips and tricks on better sleep. And so if you're this bedding company, obviously you're not going to have a community that's just talking about your bedding. No one's going to care about that. But now look how you're taking an adjacent category, and you're explaining to your customers good tips, and you're giving your customers value that has nothing to do with your products. So you're subconsciously like reminding them that you're there without telling them that you're there. So basically you would create content on a spreadsheet, on a Google Sheet, and we would have ChatGPT on autopilot basically create content for you based on those topics. And so, for example, if we're a bedding company and we want to build a community based on tips and tricks on better sleep, then that's exactly what we'll do. We'll create a bunch of topics, and then ChatGPT will create amazing content. And if you do this the right way, you can kind of train it and really personalize it and customize it to create really good content on tips and tricks on good sleep. Now, customers will want to be in that, because who doesn't want a good sleep? And if you're looking for better bedding and better pillows, and especially if they're pillows for neck pain and back pain and all these different problems, then usually it's because they're not sleeping very well. And so if you can have a community that have these people go in, where you can kind of give them that free value, it's so easy to convert those customers into paying clients soon. Okay. And so ChatGPT will create those articles, and then with automation, you can start sending that to WhatsApp, to this community, totally on autopilot. You don't have to do anything. It's absolutely bonkers. So let's just skip that for a second, and we'll come back to that. Now, on the website, you want to make sure that your abandoned cart recovery is on point, okay? And you can basically use a sequence and measure it and change it every 6 months, or every a couple thousand orders or something like that. You want to have some sort of time gap so you can really measure the data properly. And so when a customer comes to the site and they don't buy something, but they did add to cart and they showed that intent, you need to build out automated cart recovery so that every hour, an hour after, not every hour, but an hour after they added that item to their cart, they get a message and it has that finished shopping message, which means, hey, you left something in your cart. We'd love for you to come back and give us your money. But you want to have a sequence where after the first hour, they get the first message. Now, you can totally switch this up over time, but I would start with 8 hours and then they would get the second message and it would be the same thing. But after 24 hours, if they still haven't bought your product after those two first messages, the third message should have a discount. It should be not anything less than 15%. You want to be 15% and higher because that is actually, valuable and they actually may take action on that. However, on all the messages, you can even have join our free community, okay? And you can have that as a secondary button that people can opt into your community. And I'm telling you, this is going to be very effective because you're going to get a lot of people to join, especially if it's something interesting like tips and tricks on better sleep. Like, who wouldn't even just check that out? They may not stay for a very long time if the content's not good, but you can make your content good. And if people actually find value in it, they'll absolutely stay. Okay, even if they mute the group, on all time and they just check in once in a while, that's good enough. You just want to build a community where people can see there's actually other people in the community, and they're not the only one, and they're not in some isolated, feedback loop of your emails. They want to see that they're actually a part of something, and there's other people that like your products. And I'm telling you, this is just an unbelievable strategy. So I would really pay attention to that. And so you might ask, why would you do an automated WhatsApp community versus traditional email marketing? Okay, so the first thing is obviously a higher open rate, because just like WhatsApp or just like SMS, WhatsApp's the same thing. It's SMS versus email. SMS wins. SMS has higher open rates. SMS has better engagement, and WhatsApp is super similar to SMS. And so text messaging is just totally superior. And WhatsApp obviously then is better than email marketing in that way. Okay, more engagement, better ROI, perceived exclusive participation. What does that mean? It means that they can actually see the other members of the group. It means that they know they're a part of something. It means that they know that it just means that they're a part of a community, right? And being part of a community is super personalized. And when they know that they're a part of that, right, it's just going to give you better ROI. It's going to give you better ROI. There's going to be more engagement. Technically, maybe you can even allow the chat to be open so people can start sending their own messages and talking to other people. And so basically, you're creating a forum that you totally control. You'll totally control the forum. You'll totally control this asset. And this asset is extremely important, super personalized, and it's unique. And that's another thing, is that it's unique. No one's really doing this yet. So because this is new and you start doing this, you're going to see a lot of interest in joining these kinds of things. Okay. We talked about how it's more personalized, and that's a very big one. It shows up like a friend's chat, whereas emails, like if you get a brand email, right, it might show up amongst like a lot of other brand emails. I mean, that's usually how it works, right? If you're emailing someone from your brand, that same customer is getting 10,000 other emails from other brands. Meaning your position of authority is zero because you're showing up just like all the other brands are, right? So your brand will show up under the brand category, essentially, right? Whereas if you start sending messages through WhatsApp, right, on this group or this forum, then you'll start showing up just like that customer's friends are showing up. Because if I text my friends all the time on WhatsApp, and I text my brother or my wife, or or some other people that I care about, but now the brand showing up too, I'm showing up with a higher level authority because now I'm showing up with the customer's friends, as opposed to just showing up with a bunch of spam and emails from other brands and a bunch of garbage that they don't really care about. They're just swiping and deleting anyway. So think about how how the scales on this is totally in proportion. Okay, and it's totally automated. I mean, emails can be automated too if you set it up right, but the WhatsApp community is also totally automated. And that's a huge plus because you don't technically have to add anything to the conversation, but you could. But you could. And it's such an amazing thing. And so how do you do this? How do you get started with building out all these niche websites and adding these unlimited blogs and having an automated WhatsApp community and having automated cart recovery, abandoned cart recovery, and basically setting up all these assets so that you can start getting more traffic, showing up more, and keeping them inside of this feedback loop so that you can, convert those customers over time and you don't lose them. And just an example real quick, if a customer goes to your website and is wanting to buy something, but doesn't, you might not ever know who that customer was, right? And now that customer, it might not, they might be in the information gathering phase. They might be looking around, shopping around, and then later on they could be going to a different. Let's say 6 months from now, when they're actually ready to buy, they use a different company because you weren't top of mind. But if you can somehow get them to go into your community from that first visit on your website, right? Now, even if they're not ready to buy now, 6 months from now, when they are, now they'll have you as top of mind because they were stuck in your WhatsApp community this entire time. Okay, so you never know what kind of opportunities this can create. The idea is that you just have all those opportunities within your control, within your domain at all times. And that's the key to the game. If you can just create more opportunities, showing up more for your new customers and showing up more for your existing customers. And even if a customer doesn't buy something right away, but goes to your website and sees your brand, that's an existing customer. You want to keep them. You want to keep them in your brand control by keeping them in a WhatsApp community that's actually valuable for them. Okay. You want to give them value. You want to offer them cool features and things that they can get something out of. And if they feel they're getting something out of it, they'll stick around in that group. And as that group grows, then it's so easy to just push them to convert to convert into a customer through new products and new launches. It doesn't matter. But the idea is just to get them in your control. If you're selling on Amazon or you're selling on platforms that don't allow you to do any of this stuff, you're really, really missing out because you're essentially at the whim of and at the mercy of these corporations that don't care about you. And we know that. So how do you get started with this? You can reach out to me at jason@celerydigital.com, or you can message me on WhatsApp at 845-499-9269. I would love to help you put all this together. It's actually a lot more simple than you think. And you will be amazed at how unbelievably powerful this system is. Because when you show up more through niche websites and you show up more through traffic generating websites and you show up more because you have blog content that's getting literally mass distributed everywhere, and you can literally have over 500,000 blog articles per year at least. I mean, you can even do more than that. That's just if you do one a day. Okay, just think about the compound effect of your SEO. It's unbelievable. And so we can start showing up easily on the search results and building amazing customer experiences and automations so that your customers literally enter in Alcatraz and they will end up buying something. And so this strategy will make sure that you show up more and that you get more out of the customers. And so this will drastically reduce your costs of advertising. It will drastically reduce the cost of acquisition. It will drastically reduce the cost of everything. All you got to do is get started, and I would love to help you. And just so you can see, just so you guys can reach out to me. Hope that's clear. Okay, guys, if you want this strategy, if you want to see some absolutely amazing results, email me here, and I'd love to work with you. Yeah, these new things are going to really take e-commerce to a whole new level in 2025. I would be I would be jumping on this as soon as possible, because no one is able to do these automated WhatsApp communities. It's like no one's able to figure it out, but I figured it out. And if you can get yourself, if you can come up with a good topic, a good category, a good category that offers lots of value, just like tips on better sleep would be for bedding. If you can do that for your brand, I can build you this WhatsApp community, and you can start funneling in your customers into there, and you can start acquiring a lot more revenue that way. So guys, thanks for watching. I hope this gave you some interesting ideas and something to think about. And if you guys want to work together, Jason at celerydigital.com, and I'll see you on the next video.